So we are going to be reviewing for the next couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about weather, the water cycle, um, this week especially. So you will have a sheet that you have to do daily about the weather. Make sure that you turn in your current work if you are missing anything, because progress reports are about to go out. Um, So let's get to it. The hydrosphere. So all the water on Earth, this is what's in the hydrosphere. Um, this is where we talk about the water cycle, what roles does different, how the water cycle plays, um, the influences in weather, the shapes of the surface, how it supports life, human activity, all that good stuff. So this is a really detailed how the water cycle works. If you can see down this way, um, where the water stores in the ocean, it does evaporate. Condensation happens when it rises and the water reaches the clouds. Then it turns into precipitation. And the water comes down. Um, Depending on the elevation, if you see the surface runoff, that means that down the slope, or even sometimes on flat land, depending on, how hilly or if it's a mountain. If it's lower levels of the mountain, it's going to be just regular water, and that runoff will sometimes run back into the ocean. Um, Also, it could, as you see, the precipitation is at the top and it creates snow because it's higher in the atmosphere, so it snows. And then when it heats up, depending on the season, some of the snow melt will run down into the stream, um, which can cause fresh water because water running out of minerals, all that good stuff. Um, as you see, the freshwater storage, it also can turn into groundwater and be underground. Um, and sometimes groundwater runs into the ocean, uh, just like fresh water, especially if you see those big rivers like the Mississippi and stuff. Uh, so we talked about states of matter. So water is no different. It follows those same principles. So when water freezes, it becomes a solid. Um, when it's not frozen, it is a liquid. When it evaporates, it turns into a gas. So these are how the different levels of how water changes. You do not have to write this part down. I will definitely tell you which part you have to write down. Here is a good simulation on, how different energy is released by water and how it's absorbed. Um, as you can see, the different ways that it goes. We are not going to be depth in this, I promise. Uh, this is what you should have learned in sixth grade. If not, you will briefly touch on it when you get to high school, and you might actually talk about some of this when you get in eighth grade. Uh, Evaporation is a process of changing from a liquid to a gas, as we talked about. 90% of the water in the atmosphere comes from evaporation of the Earth's water. Needed needs thermal energy to have this happen. We will talk about thermal energy in about a week or two. Uh, you should write briefly, especially the first bullet, the second bullet, paraphrase. You got about 2 minutes because you're not writing the whole slide. So, oops. So transpiration, you do not have to write this part down at all. Evaporation of the water from leaves, uh, 10% of the water comes from this in the atmosphere. Um, if you take botany in college, you will definitely talk about this a lot more, or environmental science might cover it. Uh, or if you do have a weather class, um, I highly doubt it, but you might. But no, you do not have to write this down. Just know that some of the water in the atmosphere comes from plants. Sublimation, the change in the state from a solid to a gas to dry ice is one of those examples. Make sure you write this down. Um, as you can see, the example dry ice, something you don't really want to touch with on your skin because it can irritate it. Uh, but this is one example of sublimation. Condensation, a process where the gas turns into a liquid, um, especially when it's like really hot outside. I mean, if you take a cold drink or even a frozen drink and you set it on a counter inside or if you stick it outside, um, you see the water droplets on the outside starting to form. And that's a part of condensation. Um, so this releases thermal energy. Um, so pretty much you just have to write the two bullet points. So this is why I have the grass in the background with the dew on it. Dew is formed when the air reaches its dew point. Air cools. So like a significant temperature. So let's say that it was warm the day before ish, and then the temperature drops. And so on your way to the bus stop, for some of y'all that have like front, side yards that you have to walk through, or you walk to the bus stop and you see the grass, you see that the grass is wet. So that's what happens. Um, Case in point, as you see this leaf slash plant. So um, write down both bullet points. You can summarize it. Um, Pretty much, air reaches its dew point, air cools at a lower temperature. You know if it's significant. Precipitation. Any type of liquid or solid water that falls to the Earth's surface. Um, so rain, snow, hail is, I don't know if hail would count, but I mean it's frozen water. Um, but it could. So make sure you write this down. Humidity measures the amount of water vapors in the air. So this is why Kentucky is horrible during the summer, and sometimes late spring, early fall. Our humidity is horrible. Um, that's because we have a lot of moisture in the air. Dry humidity is so much better. Uh, but that's more of a southwest, so like Arizona, New Mexico. But anywhere that is very damp or somewhat damp with a decent amount of precipitation throughout the year or even through those warm months will cause awful humidity. And we are one of those places. So make sure you write that down. And after you write this down, make sure you keep these notes somewhere because we might do a pop quiz. Depends on people's behaviors. Might not do one, but depends. Make sure any work that you have out, it is your responsibility after you have already received your missing assignment report, what you need to turn in. So, if you see it on your Infinite Campus, then you need to get the either the worksheet or you need to somehow get on your Google Classroom. You can use a tablet, you can use a phone, uh, anything to get on. The quicker you do it, the quicker your grade will go up. Um, if I have graded all of the women scientists papers that I have, unless you turned it in late, then it's in this pile right beside me. I have graded all the Hispanic ones, unless it is sitting in this pile beside me because you turned it in late. I have not touched the Asian ones yet. That'll be a this week project. But most of your Bill Nyes are done after this video and before second period. All the Bill Nye worksheets that I have shall be put in. If you have not done yours, then you need to grab a paper and you need to get on the YouTube channel and watch it and knock it out and turn it in. Both of them, if you don't have both of them done. The phases of matter and the chemical reactions. Um, Make sure you also turn in your weather worksheet and also, yeah, that needs to be turned in today after and before you leave. Make sure you also scoot up all the chairs under the table. Make sure there is no trash on the floor. And that's it.